We see the world in 3D. It's the way we perceive reality. Why wouldn't our entertainment be in 3D? It's absolutely not a gimmick, it's an alignment. It's a calibration of our entertainment industry to the way in which we actually sensorily perceive the world. Three-dimensional space is a geometric setting where three values are needed to determine the position of an element. Our world is in this dimension. Throughout history, there has been a desire to recreate this visual experience in 3D, to create an illusion of a third dimension. Before the invention of film, there was Kaiser Panorama, a stereoscopic entertainment medium that displayed rotating stereoscopic images on a rear illuminated glass, giving a three-dimensional effect. The history of film in 2D began in the late 1880s after the Kaiser Panorama, with the invention of the motion picture camera. The first film is believed to be the Roundhay Garden scene by Louis Le Prince in 1888. The history of film in 3D began at the same time. William Frice Green began working on his 3D stereoscopic camera in the late 1890s and filed for a patent in 1909. This early invention, the stereoscope, was the basis of 3D film. Stereoscopes work through creating two images that are slightly offset to simulate the distance between our eyes. The combination of these images into one creates an illusion of depth. The first public viewing of a 3D film was in 1915 by Edwin S. Porter and William E. Waddell, who presented a set of test reels in red-green anaglyph. The first full-feature 3D film was The Power of Love in 1922. However, the film was unsuccessful in 3D and was not shown again in this format. Yet this fascination with 3D was still rooted and hidden within 2D film productions. Arrival of the Train by the Lumiere brothers was another early film released in 1895. The brothers were experimenting with 3D film at the time, but ended up producing the film in 2D. However, the scene was reshot in 3D in 1935 and premiered at the French Academy of Science, but the 3D version never received as much commercial success as the 2D version. Though 3D continually lagged behind 2D, 1952 to 1954 became known as the golden era of 3D film. Over 50 films were produced in 3D format. Some notable films include The Buona Devil, the first 3D film in color, and Dial M for Murder, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Yet most of these 3D films were released with 2D counterparts. The era was short-lived as well, lasting only 2 years. The decline out of the era was mostly due to technical issues involved with showing the films, as the two projectors needed to be in sync at all times. Meanwhile, 2D film is flourishing and has been throughout its history. By 1909, only 20 years after film first began, 9,000 movie theaters existed in the US. Major studios were founded, such as Universal Studios in 1912 and Warner Brothers in 1932. Walt Disney's first full-feature film, Snow White, premiered in 1937. The fight to achieve popularity for 3D, however, continued to be an uphill battle with sudden surges and then declines for the rest of its history. Today, 3D has reached a new height in popularity. Avatar, released in 2009, is the highest-grossing film of all time and was created specifically for 3D viewing. Despite the film's huge success, 3D has yet to take off on its own. But why? Why has 2D maintained dominance over 3D in the film industry? When examining 3D, the value lies in its fundamental structure and purpose. 3D alters how an audience perceives space and time. 3D changes our perception of space by adding an illusion of another dimension that mimics the world we live in. It hopes to create an extension of the reality in the film so that it might converge and line up with our own. But maybe as we look into the future, a new refined version of 3D may achieve dominance. the introduction of virtual reality has brought a new form of the 3D visual experience to the mainstream, with big companies such as Facebook, Google, and Samsung jumping on board. VR is able to create a fully immersive reality that offers complete control, complete agency for the user. Perhaps this is one reason for its budding success. After all, according to James Cameron, we evolved to see in 3D for a reason. It made us better hunters. It allowed us to spot and avoid predators. Why wouldn't we want this to our winning edge in our workplace, in our sports and entertainment, in all our peak visual experiences?